Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa. Let's get started.
All right. So we're at it again. How's it going?
Oh, it's been a week, right?
And
it's just what, Thursday?
It has been a week. I tell you.
How are you feeling?
You know that song, Don't Push Me.
Because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
I tell you, sometimes I wonder how I keep from going. I mean, it's too much.
Where did that come from?
Huh?
Where did that come from?
I'm telling you, it's just, Teresa, it's just a lot. You know, I was so nervous about the debate, and now I'm calling it the debacle. I mean, you know, I'm just, you know.
Embarrassment.
Oh, you're on edge about so many things. I tell you. Well, you just did the blog about, you know, making sure that you take care of yourself. So how's that going? Have you been doing what you wrote about? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. I'm telling the truth. Yes.
What?
It's been a good week. In fact, I'm late this morning because, you know, I'm like, I just started this routine and I needed to plan to get up a little bit earlier on days when we have to get together. But it's been really good. I've taken a bath.
Oh.
I'm soaking.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, TMI, but go ahead. That makes me wonder, are you taking baths other day? And I'm trying to understand why today.
Showers, honey, showers.
Oh, right. Wait a minute. Let's stop there.
Yeah.
You actually took a bath? The time?
Girl.
See?
Soaking, not just a bath, a soaking bath where I lit candles.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
And the music, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have been doing my meditations. I actually signed up for a 21-day meditation challenge.
Okay.
So that starts today, October 1st.
Yeah.
For 21 days, I'm going to do that. This is through a wellness program at my job. Yeah. And I'm going to do that. It's been good. It's been, I have to be intentional because I wrote about it, right?
Yeah.
But something that I could have included on that blog was laughter. We have to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what? Laughter and singing out loud and just music in general. I have been intentional with turning that radio on and dancing while I get dressed. I mean, I've been trying to be really light because there's a lot going on, right? And especially I have a lot going on with my daughter and I have to be ready for her. I can't be stressed out in dealing with her. I got to be ready. And it's been from that perspective, it's been a good week.
Well, that's good because I have been doing that yoga you told me about, the Nidra, the one I told you.
Yoga Nidra.
Yeah. And actually, that's been very good. Remember, I was clowning you at first going, Teresa, what is that? You're not even moving or doing anything. But for me.
You are doing something.
Well, but relaxing. You are talking to your body and making it release tension. And that has been good for me. But one thing that has helped me handle stress lately is actually, I shouldn't brag, but something I'm very good at. And it's saying no. It's setting boundaries with people. And I don't know if it's because of my personality, my social work background, where I learned that, But somewhere along the line, I learned to make myself as a priority in certain situations and to just say to people, no, that's not going to work. Even when in the past, when I've gotten invited to things, I had to do things. If I planned, for example, because of my schedule, that I wasn't going to do a thing that Saturday, but read and relax, I'll say, no, I can't do that. And it's the only thing I have planned is just, that's my time. And so I've always been good about saying no. And right now, with so much going on, I had a death in the family that was traumatic for me. And so I had to, people mean well and they're calling and checking on you, and that's wonderful. But even with that, you have to be able to say, I appreciate the support, but right now I don't want to talk. I just need my time to myself to regroup. And that kind of attitude or training, if you will, that I've had in the past, it came in so handy in the last week for me to just take care of Luke, for me to regroup. And so I was right proud of myself for being able to, no, not doing that. Not doing that. No, I'm not going to even respond to certain overtures of support because I appreciate it, but that's not what I need. What I need is to be quiet and to try to gather myself. And so I think that's very good for self-care. We have to learn, even when you're going through things, what other people want to do as their symbol of support may not be what you need. And it's okay. It is absolutely okay for you to push against that and say, I hear you, but that's not what I need. And if you are a friend and family and you love someone, you take cues from what the person is saying they need, not what you need to make you feel better in your support, but what they need. So I was right proud of myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So, but it's so much going on. I'm telling you, well, you probably already knew this because you're all into the health thing. But something I read this week it's got me shook. And that's about this.
What's that?
Well, this virus, you've been hearing so much about it, but Teresa, I actually read about people who had COVID months prior and have since tested negative, and they're now calling them long haulers. And these people still are having very serious symptoms of the virus. I mean, months later. I didn't realize that. Did you know that?
Yeah.
What?
I did. I have read that and I've heard that. Yeah. There's so much to learn about this virus. And every day we're learning more and more. And there are people who are suffering a long time. And then the impacts, not so much even from the virus. I mean, it attacks the heart. And people who did not have a heart problem before, didn't have heart problems before, end up with heart problems afterwards.
That I'm telling you, like I said, I don't keep up with everything like you do because you just get on overload with some of that, with so much information. But honestly, I'd heard that there was some lingering impact. So I did know that. What I didn't know is the severity of that in different people. And so that has really been something. As a matter of fact, I spoke to one of my sister's friends yesterday who said she had a first cousin that had COVID, and she is having to go through physical therapy and all because her muscles are so weak. She can barely stand. And this is a person who was pretty young and healthy before. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. And and the notion that it's not impacting the young people is so far from the truth. In fact, some of these lasting effects are impacting them a bit more.
Right.
Is what we're doing. Yeah, so it's scary. It's a scary thought, and it's even scarier. And I wonder how much is the media blowing it out of proportion with this whole thing coming in the fall, with the flu colliding with this virus. Now that has really got me worried. It's what's about to happen? You know, you're hearing about stores stockpiling groceries and like, why? I mean, that's really scary.
And maybe they are, sensationalizing it or pushing it. But it's funny you mentioned that. But I had a conversation with my husband last night saying, I think we need to start organizing our meals as we go into the season. So we can even do a better job of, making effective grocery runs and making sure we're not out and about too much because I've been reading about that. And you've already curtailed all your life, your activities, but now it's like we got to double down now. I mean, we got to take it up a notch in terms of what we're doing because we're going into flu season. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a hermit. You're not going to get to do anything. So,
yeah. And Florida this past week opened up, and they showed pictures on the news of people in those bars. I mean, I think in a couple of weeks we're going to really see some spikes there. I mean, how can you expect to go and hang out in a restaurant or a bar or a nightclub, and not expect that? But at the same time, I think about my life and how you mentioned the word hermit, and that's kind of how I feel. But are we, am I depriving myself of something? Am I not really living? Because there are people, I have a really good friend from high school now who's on vacation in Miami, and I don't fathom doing that. I don't. And am I depriving myself?
I'm gonna tell you, I hear you with that, but I'm just trying to be safe. I'm not, and people are adults and you make your own decisions, but I am trying as best I can to minimize my risk of exposure. There are some things that you have to do and you take a risk doing it, but everything now I'm mentally thinking, is that a risk I need to take? Is that something I need to do? I have a grandnephew that's in Florida, and he is a stellar football player. I love sports. And this was what I was looking forward to, was being able to attend, a couple of his games this season. And, they're playing football in Florida. And I can't do that. And it's so tempting, but that's not going to happen because I just can't. I cannot justify that kind of risk. But even in that, though, Teresa, when you talked about, are we really depriving ourselves? We are to a certain extent. But then when you think about it, though, in terms of what other people are losing and what they're enduring through all of this, you have to, we remember, of course, that we are still blessed and making it through this. Because, I mean, I am telling you, I'm still reading the stories about, people just being impacted in terms of food supply and not being able to feed their families and all of that. So, and everything that, when I saw that headline the other day, I think it's Disney laying off about 25,000 people. And I saw some other company, I can't remember, yesterday, that's laying off thousands of people. And when you think about one person and then their family and the community and the impact of that, you just wonder how in the world are we going to be able to come back from that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. That is really tough. I saw an article. I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't read it at all. I saw the headline, and it was something akin to COVID and how the I can't remember the title, but what I got from the title was that the way that COVID has affected and caused this recession is different than what happened in the past. They're saying the impact has been to the top has been, the top 2% has been impacted just a little, but the bottom half of the rest of us have been greatly impacted. It's not been an even,
Right.
the impact has been even. It's impacting some people more than it's impacting others is basically what it was. And it's true, because the middle class is being decimated with this thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then, something else that's stressing me out this week was that, I don't know if you saw it, but the headline, because of, COVID and everything people are dealing with, particularly with the virtual learning and people working from home, that women are making the decision to leave the job force. It's just too much. Them trying to manage all of this. And so they are making the decision that, you know what, I don't think I'm going back. And it's when you read that as a woman, you understand how difficult it is to be a working mom. I mean, that's a very hard position, and people just don't understand everything. Sometimes everything we're trying to juggle and manage that. But, you think about that, and certainly you understand it, but you also think about, what is this going to do to our role in the workplace and all of the gains? So, because you're constantly pushing back against that anyway, in terms of our pay and our ability, the glass ceiling, our ability to be heard in the workplace. So, that really shook me, that seeing that headline, but I certainly understand it. But because when I look back over my career, I made some pretty drastic decisions at times, and some big sacrifices. And you wonder, okay, you're always second guessing yourself. Was that the right decision? And even looking back, how could I have done that and thought that was okay? In terms of my family and the sacrifices that we all were having to make for me to be able to work and advance. So you recognize that it's a hard place to be in, and it's hard. You feel for, as a matter of fact, a young lady I was talking with yesterday said that now that her kids see her at home, they see her working, and they didn't really know what she did, but now they're like, they're really impressed with their mom because of her job. Yeah. And I'm thinking, wow, well then maybe that's some good that's come out of this. They see.
And that's what we have to continue to do, Lou. We have to look for the good. That's part of the self-care. We got to focus on what good has come out of this. And you think about the number of kids who are spending this time with mom and dad.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. They're getting both of them.
Yeah.
And that's a real good thing.
Teresa, that is so true, because I try to do that just to sort of level out when I get too down about what's going on. I try to think about, okay, what positives have we seen in this? And one thing that I thought about is, in the past, people mostly just used Zoom and other mechanisms for business. But now, when we can't get to our families, I had a Zoom call with my family Sunday night. It was wonderful to just be able to use that as another way of communicating and staying in touch. So that's been a positive. And I also I read something about how these virtual doctor visits now are being used more for like the elderly, and their family from across the country can now participate. Like if your mom is elderly, you can be in on her doctor's appointment and you can hear what the doctor's saying, and you can ask questions so that you're clear to help keep your family member healthy. And I thought, well, now that's some good.
Wow.
I'm more comfortable.
That's good. I didn't know they were.
Yeah. So, and it's never before that was always available. But even if people used it, it was like when someone couldn't get to the doctor, but family members weren't tapping into it like they are now. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. So you do, as we try to manage the negatives, we do have to make sure that we don't miss that we're surviving and trying, and we're strong, and we're going to come out of this. And you work to see some positives in it. So, and
but one of the things I listed on the self-care is gratitude, right? Like writing things that we're grateful for in our journals. And when I say that, I don't mean like I'm grateful that for not just saying things like I'm grateful to have had, say, a cupcake yesterday. I'm talking still intention, like really looking for something that you're so thankful for. Like, I don't know, yesterday.
I am thankful that I had some chocolate covered peanuts yesterday. I am thankful for that, Teresa, but go on.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, let me think about, I haven't written this morning, but one thing that I can say that I'm grateful for from yesterday. I'm grateful that, I spend a lot of time talking to my daughter about not really giving power to other people's words, kind of like what you said earlier about making it about yourself, like you putting yourself first. And I say this thing to her all the time, but I never thought she was listening. So I'm really grateful to have had a conversation with her yesterday and to hear her repeat some of the things that I've said to her that showed me she's listening.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she hears me.
Yeah.
And it put a big smile on my face. I'm so grateful for that, Yeah. And I didn't bring it up to her because it would have killed the moment. Yeah. But I was grateful. I was very grateful. And at some point I probably will point it out to her, but then that's, oh, Mom, please.
Yeah, but you're right though.
Let it ride.
But that's funny you say that, because I saw a video came up on my feed yesterday of a young lady surprising her parents by seeing them after 4 months. And I tell you, when the mom saw her daughter, she just crumbled, crying and hugging her. And I thought, I don't know if kids get that until they become parents, that no matter how old they are, they're always going to be our babies. And we don't care what's going on. And even when they tower over us and we have to stand on tippy toes to give them a hug, I'm talking about myself with my son. But when even then, it's like those times, we're always going to be looking out for them. And and we're always going to be, our eyes are always going to light up when we talk to them, when we see them. And so I just saw that scene, and that reminded me that, there's a lot to be thankful for. And when you think about in the midst of all of this, being okay and still standing, I'm grateful.
Yeah. Well, still standing, and we got to keep standing until this thing is over. Yeah. It's likely not to be until mid next year that the vaccine is available. Yeah. And we got to just stay focused on trying to be safe.
That's right. Right. And just don't get weary in doing your best to follow.
And it's so easy to get weary right now. It is so easy to do that.
But fight against it. So that's really all we're talking about today, is just self-care and looking for ways to take care of yourselves, particularly as we go into flu season, that we do what we need to do to take care of ourselves and those that we love, and look out for our community, and just be the best citizens we can be at this point. Because here at Earrings Off,
when we know better, we do better.
take good care.
Take good care.